let us learn about equilibrium output. So what is equilibrium output? Equilibrium is nothing but equal, and output is nothing but the goods and services that are produced and supplied in the economy. So it refers to the level of output. That means it refers to the level of goods and services that are produced where aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. So we have already learned about aggregate demand and aggregate supply. So aggregate demand is nothing but it comprises of C plus I plus G plus X minus M. So aggregate demand is nothing but what will be the level of output, or what are the goods and services that an economy is planning to buy or planning to spend at a given period of time. And what does aggregate supply consist of? It consists of natural resources, it consists of land, it consists of labor, capital and technology. So natural resource, labor, capital and state of technology. And what is aggregate supply? It is nothing but whatever goods and services that the economy has produced and supplied during a period of time or during a period of 1 year. So equilibrium output is where aggregate demand meets aggregate supply. In short, where aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. That means where the number of people that are planning to buy is equal to number of output that are produced and supplied. So number of output that people are planning to buy will be equal to the number of outputs that are supplied. It signifies that whatever the producers intend to produce, that means whatever the producers plan to produce during the year, which is nothing but from 1st April to 31st March. So it signifies whatever the producers are planning to produce during the year will be exactly equal to what the buyers will plan to buy. So we can also term it as goods produced will be equal to goods bought. So whatever the producers are planning to produce will be equal to whatever the buyers are planning to buy. Let's suppose in a time of 1 year, the producers are planning to produce 100 goods, then the buyers will also buy 100 goods. So goods that are produced will be equal to goods that are sold or goods that are bought. So it signifies that whatever producer are planning, same buyers will also plan. So it will be equal. So that is why we call it as equilibrium output, wherein the output is equal. The output is equal to what producers are producing and what buyers are buying. So this is aggregate demand and aggregate supply. If both are equal, we call that as equilibrium output. We call that equilibrium output. Now, remember, we are learning about two-sector economy. So when we talk about C plus I plus G plus X minus M, it is nothing but a four-sector economy, which is a real situation. But whenever we are talking about two-sector model, we have to eliminate these two parts. Because in two-sector model, there is only household and there are only firms. There is no government and there is no import and export. So when we talk about two-sector model, for aggregate demand, we have to consider only C plus I. And aggregate supply is nothing but C plus S, which is consumption plus savings. So consumption plus savings is nothing but it is also called as income. So aggregate demand, which is AD, is equal to consumption expenditure plus investment expenditure, and aggregate supply is equal to consumption expenditure plus savings, or we can also call it as aggregate supply is equal to N plus L plus K plus T. So this can also be written. So this is equilibrium output.